You need to have a strong mindset when choosing to trade for a living, especially if you want to do this long term. Your mind is only going to get sharper the longer you stay in this game. Look to learn from your lessons and never give up. So it may sound cliche, but you need to believe that you can do it in order for it to happen. All right, so let's look into the charts here and we'll go over a few tips and a few things that you need to have in order to sharpen that mindset and get a little bit better trading psychology. One thing I think a lot of traders fall into is thinking that there's always something to do. Right? Because I'm at the desk, I'm giving it the certain hours from 9:30 to noon every day. I'm here. Come on, markets, give me something to trade. I don't care what it is. I need to do something. I need to make money today. But the market doesn't care about you. It doesn't even know that you're there. It doesn't care about me either. It doesn't know that I'm there. So we need to just wait for the spots. Sometimes it's going to be at 10 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes the best trades will happen at 1 o'clock. My job is just to remain patient, remain disciplined to that plan that I have set. And whenever it does present, I need to maximize on it and act on that plan. So on this chart, for example, it's a pretty ugly day, no doubt about it. But we get a pop for a new low a day. It retests the New York VWAP, but it doesn't really retest it. It just breaks right back above it. I made a video on this on the direction of VWAP, so if you want to check out that one as well. There's nothing really to do here because not only is price action clearly moving sideways, but the New York VWAP is flat as well, which isn't a great sentiment or a great signal that we are trending. But it can be very easy to want to time when this is going to pop higher, right? Is this our higher low and now we finally break higher? Okay, we held it again. Does it pop higher or is it actually going to fall back lower? Too much thinking, too much guessing and hoping something's going to happen rather than just leaving the market be, letting it do what it wants, right? Because we can't control it. Just by staring at it isn't going to change what's going to happen in the future here. So just let it happen. Let something new happen. Get some new information like a new high a day saying, okay, buyer did in fact win that battle. I thought they might have. I thought they could have and should have and would have. All those different things. And they did. All right, I would have been right. But depending on when I got in that trade, maybe I wasn't going to be right. So now I get a new high a day. Well, now I can take some maybe longs off this open range high level and catch these small little pops for new highs a day, right? But that doesn't come the new high a day until 12:30, right? But we're here at 9:30 looking for these to go higher. That doesn't follow through lower. This doesn't follow through higher, right? Nothing's really happening until 12:30. So we need to remain as patient as possible and just sit on our hands if that's what it's going to call for until we get some trend to signal what's going to happen. And then we look at the very next day after this. This is heading into the weekend, but then we get the next day of price action. We're right here at the open. We're getting some action at the open. Okay, so today maybe the best trades are happening at right here, 9:54. So yesterday it was 1 o'clock. Today it's 9 o'clock in the morning. They're going to vary. They're going to be different, but there's not always something to do because same thing. Once this pops lower, I'm not chasing that lower. There's nothing for me to do but just wait for a pullback. And then my next entry it's calling for me to take is at 10:45. Then I'll catch the next move of trend, right? If you haven't seen the strategy, I teach it here on ASFX TV, which you could use code Evan if you want to join it for 50% off. But I teach you the full strategy here in Futures 2.0. And then you can come watch me trade these setups live on stream and teach you the strategy as well. Because that's another thing that a lot of traders struggle with is not having that clear plan. So when I say there's not always something to do, that's because I know what I'm waiting for it to happen, so I know what to do after. But if you don't have a plan, there's really nothing to wait for, right? Because you're not having rules to stick to. You have no rules. So technically, yeah, you could be doing something at any time in the markets, but that's not what you should be doing. You should be waiting for a specific setup, learn that setup, memorize that setup like the back of your hand, and have trust and confidence in it, right? Another thing is you need to have confidence in, like I said in the beginning of the video, you truly do need to believe that you can do this. I know it's very disheartening to take loss after loss, losing weeks, losing months, whatever the case may be, but you're not as far from those goals. Honestly, you're not as far from them as you probably think that you are inside your head, right? Because we're all so negative towards ourselves rather than the positive side of things. Then when we're taking these losses, we're getting beat up. It's very easy to lean into that and think it's the end of the world. We're never going to make this happen. I just can't get a grip on things. I'm not getting any better, but you are. If you're doing report cards, which I highly suggest you do if you go over here to TradeZella, that's what we give everyone in our Blackshirt Club. I guarantee you, if you're doing the things I recommend here on these YouTube videos and in our mentorship and on stream, if you're tracking your trades, doing clean markups of them, right? We can go to my daily journal from the last time I took a trade. Let's just go to the Wednesday one. If you're doing markups of the trades that you took at the very least, right? Same thing in here on Thursday. If you're doing markups of your trades and tracking them, you may not have the big win to track of I've taken a payout, I've taken this many payouts, because that's the ultimate goal that we're all shooting for. But that's the only way that you weigh your worth and your success, then yes, for many people it is going to be very not good in terms of we're not feeling like we're making progress because we haven't reached this one goal. But if you can look for those smaller wins within your journey, like I'm stopping over trading. I've limited myself to 3 trades a day, and I've stuck to it now for 2 to 3 weeks. 3 weeks ago, I was over trading like crazy. I couldn't stop myself. I couldn't control myself. And then another one, I told myself I'd get off the desk at 12, but I would always ignore myself. Well, now I've been doing it. So you can track these small wins to give yourself a small pat in the back to keep you going, to keep you motivated that I am getting better. Although I am not at the payout stage yet, you can still look back at yourself and say, well, I'm a lot closer to getting that payout now than I was 2 months ago, right? Because with the actions and the habits I had back then, I was so far from the payout. So although I haven't taken them yet, if you could talk to yourself and really believe that I am making progress, I am getting better, I am in a better position to get this payout and get this goal, then you are going to be, in fact, closer to getting that payout, right? Because if you don't think the payouts are going to happen, or even just the success in general, then it's probably not going to, because you're not going to respect it enough, right? If you almost taste that success, you feel it right around the corner, then you're really, really not going to want to break those rules, because you feel like this is reality, it's happening, it's almost coming true that I'm going to take these payouts. I've worked so hard for this. Let me not blow it up now, right? But if you're just in that negative cycle of just, whatever, this isn't going to happen, this never works, let me just try this, let me just take that trade because I'm desperate, right? But you're rushing the process. You don't truly believe that if you do these small, actionable steps, the proper steps each and every day, that you'll be rewarded for it, then yeah, why would you follow a plan if you don't respect it or think it's actually going to help you in the long run, right? Another psychological thing I talk about a lot of the over trading, all those different things. But I think just there's not always something to do. You need to have respect for your plan. You need to have confidence in what you're looking for, right? I think today could even be a good example. We get a strong break for a new low a day. Let's put on, I think it was on NQ actually. Let's go to NQ here, and you'll see a new low a day, pull back. Let's anchor to that low a day VWAP. And let's say we short it when sellers are stepping back in. Stop loss that structure, and we let this thing ride for a new low a day. But if you notice, on this one specifically, I think ES was a lot less painful. It goes through some chop. It goes through some drawdown. But it doesn't really leave the station and pop into profit for you, maybe close to your 1R, for like 40 minutes. Can you handle that? Well, if you don't have confidence in that setup and you're fearing loss, I'm sorry, you are not going to survive 2 more months, 3 more months. You're going to burn out and you're going to not be able to get those goals that you want, because that's really the one thing, not really just the one thing, but that's really a lot of what's holding traders back. I've just wanted to just always be right, timing the market perfectly, that no, I got in short here. This should just move directly down right to my take profit. I don't want a single candle that goes against me. I don't want a single point of drawdown. I want none of that. Just go straight to my take profit and tell me that I was right. What kind of ego is that? We're going to take on chop. We're going to take on drawdown. We're going to be early. We're going to be just straight up wrong sometimes. We're going to pick the wrong direction. We're going to get in too late on that direction. All these different things. But if you talk to yourself positively after, you should be able to operate that same plan, that same strategy with rather good ease or good success in the future if you're not hanging on to that loss and beating yourself up for it, right? But another thing is, as this one goes into small drawdown, so maybe it's not the greatest example, but oh my God, we're back above the low a day. If you sellers aren't in control anymore, I don't want to lose $1,000 that I risked, so let me just cut it here for minus 300. Well, it's not really calling for that. I have a lot of trust in my strategy that my stop loss is where it should be. I'm in at a good sell price that I wanted to be short at, and that the direction's telling me this probably wants to go lower. So there's nothing for me to do but just watch it and let it do its thing. As long as I didn't risk too heavy, why am I afraid of losing? If I lose $500, I have a balance of 4,000. I have plenty of buffer room. Or I have drawdown of 6,000. I have plenty of room. What am I so fearful of one loss? I'm going to take about 100 losses the next 6 months. The idea is that I just also have 200 winners in the next 6 months, right? So it goes through small drawdown, but if you're just saying, yeah, we're still making lower highs, I'm clearly very bearish on the day. I've seen this work out like this plenty of times. If this loses, I have the skill set to sell it again later on if it calls for it and probably make that money back. If I keep my head on straight, if I follow my rules and take another setup that looks just like this, I know the returns on this setup over the long term are very profitable and I'll be just all right? But the worst thing is, I guess, ES, like I said, if you took the same setup on ES on the low a day view up break here, you probably take on no drawdown, right? And this is what we all want. I'm not blaming you. This is what we all want. We get in short, just all profit, just straight sinking, but there's some small chop in there to get you impatient. Oh my God, is this going to come back up? But regardless, truthfully, guys, I want you guys to have a lot of confidence in yourself. I know it can be tough, whether on your first month, 6th month, 2 years, 5 years, whatever the case may be. You can really switch it around a lot quicker than you think. No one's really as far from their goals as they may think. Now, if you don't do certain steps after, or what you're not pivoting and trying new things to get a little bit better, then maybe you are a little bit further. But again, you don't have to be that much further from these goals as you may think you are, because it may just be a small tweak in psychology, a small tweak in where your stop losses are. You're suffocating them too much. You're not giving them a fair chance to even win. Or you're over trading. Literally call yourself out, step off the desk at noon. You're done trading. Trade on Project X with these top 1 accounts. The one thing I love about them, you can set in a max daily loss rule. So once you're down 500, it literally locks you out. You can't trade anymore. So then that's going to keep you alive and in the game longer. So even if you are having these blow up days in your mind, the account's not going to suffer from it. And you're going to hopefully get a little bit better, not suffering these big red days that are always going to keep you holding back. But again, if you want a top 1 account, those are always running 50% off right now with code Evan. It's always going to run the best deal. But back to the point here, have some confidence in yourself. Look to study each and every day. Don't be afraid to lose. It really is harder than it sounds. Obviously, I still hate losing. No one enjoys it. But if you just do a certain amount of markups, I mean, I have so many trades on here. You've seen all these videos, hopefully. The amount of markups that look the exact same setup-wise, if I could take that same setup again tomorrow, I have pretty good confidence that's going to win. And it's sometimes even a little surprising when it doesn't. Of like, oh, I really thought that looked good. And it did look good. But it's going to lose sometimes. But sometimes I forget that they do lose, that I should be winning them. But you're going to take losses. But I have full confidence that I could just take that setup again tomorrow, the next day, next week, and I'll probably win 6 or 7 out of 10. I'll be fine as long as I don't have big red days. So follow along with me on AceFX TV. You can watch these streams together with me. Tune in, ask questions, receive feedback on your trades. What are you struggling with the most? We'll get a little bit better each and every day. And you're not as far from these goals, and hopefully we can take these payouts together on stream, and I can get you guys your first one if you've never had one. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. Keep your head on straight. Stay positive. Stay motivated. If you ever need me, always feel free to reach out with any other videos you guys want to see, or any help or any tips or advice you want on anything. But I appreciate you guys. Trade safe, and I'll see you guys on the charts tomorrow morning.